Deep in the Appalachian Mountains, there are places locals avoid after dark. The trees grow thick, the fog rolls in fast, and the silence can feel entirely too quiet, like the woods themselves are listening. Researchers and historians sometimes use a specific term for this feeling: psychogeography. It is the idea that extreme historical trauma doesn't simply fade away with time, but instead leaves a permanent, haunting residue on the physical landscape. And this region has endured centuries of it, from extreme geographic isolation and bloody border conflicts, to the violent extraction of coal and iron that literally tore the mountains open. To understand how different types of history manifest into terror, we are going to track a geographic escalation of these haunts. We will start with benign wilderness mysteries and trace the path all the way to violent, documented poltergeists. We are tracing the physical locations where these stories stop being folklore and start functioning as a map of the region's unresolved pain. We begin in the untamed wilderness of North Carolina at Brown Mountain. For over a century, people here have reported a baffling phenomenon: glowing colored orbs, sometimes red, sometimes yellow or white, floating aimlessly above the ridges before vanishing into the dark. Scientific explanations routinely fall short. Skeptics often blame the reflections of automobile headlights from the valley below. But these lights were observed long before cars existed, and they continued to appear even during a massive 1916 flood that completely knocked out all power, roads, and railway traffic in the area. Moving deeper into the woods to Bluff Mountain, Virginia, the mysteries turn tragic. In November 1891, a 4-year-old boy named Audie Klein Powell wandered away from his schoolhouse while gathering firewood. He vanished entirely into the freezing wilderness. Today, hikers on this isolated stretch of the George Washington National Forest report highly specific anomalies. They experience sudden, unseasonal temperature drops that raise the hair on their arms, followed by the distinct sound of a child crying just off the path. The extreme isolation of these deep forest trails plays a crucial role. When you are miles from any town or streetlight, you are trapped in an environment where help is impossible, and the mind strains against the silence. Out here in the deep wilderness, the hauntings manifest as eternal, melancholic echoes of the lost, still searching for a way home. But when tragedy strikes a place built for innocent joy, the atmosphere shifts from melancholic to deeply unsettling. Lake Shawnee Amusement Park in West Virginia was designed for laughter, which makes its history directly contradict its intended purpose. Between 1926 and 1966, 3 children died on this property. 2 drowned in the nearby water, but the most visceral loss occurred when a little girl playing on the park swing set was struck and killed by a backing delivery truck. Now, the park sits abandoned. Nature and rust are slowly reclaiming the broken rides, leaving iron skeletons hiding in the overgrowth. Visitors walking these rusted paths consistently report hearing phantom children's voices and footsteps crunching on the gravel. The presence is so strongly felt that modern tourists have adopted a somber ritual, leaving piles of stuffed animals and toys at the old ticket booth to pacify the spirits. Cursed ruins like Lake Shawnee demonstrate how an innocent tragedy leaves a localized, mournful imprint, one that seems to demand ongoing appeasement from the living. As we move from accidental ruins to institutional design, the horror escalates. This is the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum, a massive 1864 fortress in West Virginia, specifically designed to warehouse the forgotten. For over 130 years, it operated under an archaic, brutal understanding of mental health. Thousands of patients were subjected to harrowing medical abuses, trapped within these stone walls, where they lived, suffered, and eventually withered away. The paranormal activity reported here today is distinctly aggressive. Intrepid visitors exploring the perpetual twilight of these decaying corridors report being physically prodded by icy hands and witnessing spectral shadows darting rapidly between empty rooms. That same institutional aggression boils over at the West Virginia Penitentiary in Moundsville. Unlike the asylum, this facility was explicitly built for punishment, hosting harsh conditions, deadly riots, and real executions over its century of operation. Today, the empty prison functions like a giant acoustic trap for misery. The auditory hauntings are intense. Witnesses routinely hear the sounds of distant yelling, the sharp clank of metal doors, and heavy footsteps endlessly pacing the locked cell blocks. These monolithic stone structures continue to enforce their invisible rules on the living, long after the actual guards have left. There is a final escalation, a point where the haunting crosses over from residual echoes and aggressive shadows into physical, documented lethality. That brings us to the Bell Witch Cave in Adams, Tennessee, the absolute apex of Appalachian paranormal malevolence. The Bell family settled this land in 1804. By 1817, they were besieged by a violent, unseen poltergeist. The haunting specifically targeted the youngest daughter, Betsy, subjecting her to physical beatings so severe they left her unconscious. The phenomenon quickly escalated from throwing objects and whispering into something with acute intelligence. The voice eventually projected clearly through the house, making a distinct vocal vow to murder the family patriarch, John Bell. 3 years later, on December 20th, 1820, that threat was made good. John Bell was found dead in his bed. Beside his lifeless body lay a strange, unexplained vial filled with a dark, unidentified liquid. This case holds a terrifying historical distinction. It remains the only time in American history that a state legally recognized supernatural forces as a cause of death. It proves that under the right conditions, some haunts cross the line into lethal reality. When you pull back to look at the entire Appalachian region, a pattern emerges. The deep wilderness trails, the rusted amusement park ruins, and the heavy stone institutions are all connected. They form a single vast network of trapped trauma. The physical structures of this landscape, the iron furnaces, the asylum walls, the coal towns, will eventually crumble and be reclaimed by the forest. But the emotional residue remains etched into the ridgelines long after the buildings are gone. So if you ever find yourself hiking deep in the George Washington National Forest or walking the perimeter of a ruined mountain town, pay attention when the temperature falls and the silence drops. That quiet doesn't mean you are alone. It means the past is listening. In Appalachia, history watches you back.